Don't want to lose my serviettes. Okay, it is fall. It's a little chilly out. So I got myself a nice hot cup of Joe. Mm. So the intro is going to roll along here. I'm trying to make it short. And hope you enjoy the Halloween special intro. Boo! I'm back with my cup of coffee. And let's go on with the whiskey review. Now, I got this bottle of whiskey at an estate sale locally. The gentleman who passed away would spice his own whiskey and transfer it into these bottles with the spices or spices at the bottom. He used a T.F. Adams and Sons bottle. This company made ginger beer starting in the 1840s in earthenware bottles, and then at some point switched to glass, probably in the 1860s or 70s. So this bottle is from that period, probably pre-1900. So I would say between 1870 and 1890 is when this bottle was made. I had to struggle to get the cork open because the cork was broken off. Fortunately, my trusty OB got in there and got the cork out. So we're going to give it a shot here. Oh my God. That smells excellent. Almost a fruity, soft drinky smell. Let's really get down into it. So using my skull shot glass, I'm going to pour me a touch. We'll set this right here. All right. Salute portute. Not much of a hug. It is very flavorful. It is very flavorful. It's strong, but not too strong. It's very spicy, not hot spicy, spicy. So let's see what we can come up with here. Yes, Christmas time. Christmas time. Connecticut. Connecticut Christmas. Large, low, rambling house. Big kitchen. smell cloves, a little ginger, maybe a little cardamom, maybe a peppercorn. Coal stove in the kitchen. Big fireplace in the family room. Big Christmas tree. Big. Yes, a big Christmas tree. A big Christmas tree. Douglas fir. Yes, lead tinsel. Yeah, excellent. Excellent Christmas. Excellent Christmas whiskey. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Mm. These go great together. I'm going to have to find a better cork. I am. That's going to be a special occasion whiskey right there. Oh. Oh. Very good. Very good. Mm. How does that go with a little coffee? Not really good with coffee. I wouldn't recommend putting that in the coffee. It really knocks the flavor out of the coffee. But it actually enhances the flavor of the cigar. Really, really well done. Yes. Okay. I promised you some Halloween tales. Cue the Halloween music. All right. I got so much spooky crap I had to write it down. It's not that much. So the first true Halloween story is when I was very young. I lived in a house not too far from here. My parents bought the house new, and they were very happy in the house. But when I turned 11, my mother passed away in that house. And not long after that, odd things began to happen. She had made a light, a hanging light in my bedroom. And that light would turn itself on. I would go to school in the morning and come home and the light would be on. Now, there was nobody in the house to turn the light on. My father worked, and my brother and I stayed in the house alone while he was at work. I would come home from school and the light would be on. I could be out in the front yard and the light would turn on in the bedroom while I was outside. Now, there was no short because it had the wall switch, and the wall switch would be in the up position. I remember when I was older, about 15 or 16, my friend Dave had already gotten his driver's license. And one night, late at night, we were sitting in my front yard leaning against my dad's old car. And he was off doing what he did. You know, we were kind of latchkey kids. And suddenly, my friend Dave said, "Did you see someone walk past me?" And I said, "Yeah, I thought someone walked by you." And not 10 seconds after he said that, the light in my bedroom came on and shined out into the yard. And Dave, well, see ya, Bill. He got in his car and left, leaving me to deal with the situation. But that had been happening so long, it didn't bother me. Was it my mother trying to reach me, trying to contact me? It could have been. Was it her flipping on the light to tell me she was watching me? It might have been. I don't know. I'm just telling you what happened. The second odd thing that happened when I was a child was I had gotten a book from the library called Flying Saucers Serious Business. And I was at home reading it. Now, my father had another place to live in El Segundo, California. And he would take my brother down there with him. I, in order, would stay at home. It was much better if I stayed at home in West Covina than to go with him to El Segundo with my brother. I had the free run of the house. I could come and go as I pleased. Trust me, it was better than being with him. Anyway, I'm reading the book on the couch, and it was hammering down rain outside. It was about this time of year. Just pouring rain. There was some thunder and lightning, and I'm reading this book about flying saucers. Now, the time, approximately 10 o'clock at night. There's a pounding on my front door. I open the front door, and there in the pouring rain are two men, two adult men. People say, oh, was your friends joking with you? No. Remember, we're young teenagers. These were big guys wearing raincoats and shining very bright flashlights in my face. And one of them said in a low voice, "Are you William Hill?" And being, like 15 or 16, terrified, I said, "Yes, I am. We're here for the book. We are from the library. We need the book Flying Saucer Serious Business." So I went into my living room, got the book off the couch, and handed it out. And a guy's big hand in a raincoat came and took the book out of my hand and just said, "Thank you, sir. We'll be going now." And they shut off their flashlights, turned their backs, and walked away into the hammering rain. And it scared the living bejesus out of me. To this day, I don't know what on. They took the book and they left. Years later, a friend of mine worked at the same library I borrowed the book from. And I told her this story. And she just laughed and says, "Bill, they don't come to your house in the middle of the night to get a book. They would just charge you for it if you didn't bring it back." And it wasn't overdue. The library never asked me about the book. They never charged me for the book. The book was just gone. True story. Who were they? I don't know. You figure it out. But they were at my door, and they scared the living heck out of me. Now, another story from my time as an adult. I was driving home from work one night, and I worked at Happiest Place on Earth. So I would always drive down Harbor Boulevard to go home. I didn't like driving on the freeway. I have an old Jeep, you've seen it, and I didn't like driving on the freeway. I still don't. It runs fine on the freeway. It does 65, 70 miles an hour. But I love surface streets, the weird way here and there. So anyway, I'm driving up Harbor Boulevard, and I just crossed over the 91 freeway. And I just gotten off work, probably 10 or 11 o'clock at night, probably closer to midnight. and I stop at a traffic light, and I'm right up against the point of departure. The light turns green, I'm going. But there's cars that got to come and go and turn. I'm not getting into it. But the light is not a quick light. Well, I'm sitting like this in the car, right? And I glance over, and there's a guy standing on the sidewalk, not 25 feet away. He's just on the other side of the opposite side of the road. And he's standing. And there's a big, long building in a strip mall. There's a big, long building. The backside faces the street. It's a blank white wall. There's no lights. And the guy's completely dressed in dark clothing. And he's got what looks like a cell phone. He's holding up to his face. And as you can see, my face is lit. And he's looking at the phone. Right? He's staring at it. So I'm sitting there. I'm smoking a cigar. I smoked a cigar on the way home. Just like this. Waiting for the light to change. Green arrow. They're going. And I glance over at the guy. And I'm staring at him. Just because he's there. And he's looking at his phone. Or whatever's in his hand. Right? And it's casting that light on his face. Only his face. And he turns his head and he looks at me and does this. With a surprised look. So I felt like, And I'm staring at him, he's staring back. And I look like this, and I look back, and he's gone. He is flippin' gone. He didn't cross the road in front of me. I'm looking at my rearview mirror. He's not walking back down the street. He's not walking up the street. He was gone in this much time. And he's gone. Out of view. You can't run fast enough to be. I looked up to. I can have a clear shot up harbor on the sidewalk. There's no place for him to go unless he burrowed into the concrete or something. He was gone. Well, that's the first part of the story. So I'm sitting in the car thinking, holy cow, that was strange. Who the heck was that? What was that? So I just proceeded to go home. I'm driving home. And I get to Brea Canyon Road. Now, for all you people who know what Brea Canyon Road is, at night, it is darker than the inside of a goat's stomach. I'm not joking. There are no lights. So I throw all my brights on, my off-road driving light, and I'm cruising down this windy canyon, right? I'm not going fast. I'm like doing 45 miles an hour. I like that. I like driving slowly. There's all these trees that grow up over the road. It's an old oil drilling area. There's still old oil derricks and equipment up there. Okay? And there's a place in the road. You're going straight, and you start to make a curve that parallels the freeway. All of a sudden, this brilliant red light streaks around the corner, and I mean streak. It left a streak in my eyes, and looked like it was coming right at my face. And I was totally blinded. I could not see the road in front of me. I couldn't see my dashboard. I couldn't see anything. It was like this bright red light filled me. And I slammed on the brakes. You could hear my brakes squealing. I didn't want to run off into a ditch or into the mountainside. There was nobody behind me. And it was over like that. The light came around and blinded me, was gone. Look at my rearview mirror. Nothing. No light going down the road behind me. No taillights, no headlights, nothing. Nothing in front of me but one lone street light right at the turn. And I'm just sitting there. Like, what the F had just happened? Well, what did happen? You tell me. Put it down in the comments. The guy looked at me, was shocked that I could see him, and in an instant he was gone. The next thing I know, this bright red light comes out of no place on a lonely, empty canyon road. About 20 minutes later, I almost wrecked my car. It comes and goes. Well, anyway, I think that's going to be it for part A of Tales and Mystery of the Mojave Trolls Halloween special. I don't want it to run too long. I have 2 more stories in this paper. One of the stories I'm going to tell you that personally happened to me, I have actual video I took of the event. The other one is about seeing dead people. It's not what you think, but it could be what you think. Anyway, thank you for joining me on Tales of Mystery of the Mojave Patrol Halloween Special Part 1. I really appreciate you visiting. I really appreciate you joining me here. Click like and subscribe. It'll be here someplace. I don't know where I'm going to put it this time. And that's it. And if you want to buy a car, buy a Packard. You don't believe me? Ask the man who owns one.
Yes, look to Packard for the easiest handling car ever built. America's new choice in the fine car field.
You know, I'm not as dumb as you look.